I'm off to Spain this afternoon. So we're driving up to London to fly from Stansted to Santiago de Compostela, and then we're going to be driving to the coast. And this is my first time ever spearfishing in Spain, so I'm very, very excited. Also got a friend staying down there on one of the Rias in the northwest of Spain. He's on his sailing boat, so we're going to meet him. He's got a bit of local knowledge now.
After the delights of London traffic, we embarked on our 2-hour flight to northern Spain.
So we finally made it to Spain. We did have a little kip in our Airbnb last night after arriving quite late. We've just dropped our bags and spearfishing gear with Matt at the marina here. He's going off to a beach.
We'll see you on the island of adventure.
Yes. So Matt's coming down there, you reckon?
Yeah, there's something with a sail up down there.
Could be him. So we've driven to a little island just off the coast. Matt's actually going to be anchoring here tonight, so it made sense for him to pick us up here. Hopefully we can catch some fish, cook them up on the boat, and then he'll drop us back here so we can go back to the Airbnb. Lots of people foraging over here, so we might go and see what they're doing. You see that? Cockles.
I was actually really keen to get involved with some coastal foraging, but that is not permitted in Spain without the correct licence. Anyway, it was only a few minutes until Matt turned up on his tender to take us out to the mothership.
I'd like to come.
We're in the Ria de Arosa, and the main island protects the Ria from the Atlantic swell, so despite it's been bad weather the last few days, but I think we'll find some sheltered islands, lots of granite boulders that come up, so I think the bream should be hiding around those corners.
Matt kindly let me take the helm of his beautiful sailing boat, Pau Ama, as we headed out to a rocky island.
What I found is that they like to feed on the sort of seaward facing side, so as the boulder comes down here they'll probably be picking on the algae as the tide's coming up.
Okay.
Might be worth a look.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much, Skipper. Enjoy. Thank you.
On my first dive, I probably saw more bream than I'd ever seen before, here in about 10 metres. It was now just a case of training the gun on one of these fish without them twitching away. Very slow movements here needed not to spook for fish.
It's not the best shot.
As you can see, the visibility in the water isn't too great, but it probably helped me get quite close to these sneaky black bream.
I'll be alright in a minute, I'll get one in a minute.
You will.
Bloody things.
So dive 2, and between the tower and the rocks it's kind of shallow and then drops away to about 40 metres, so we'll see what we can find here. Hopefully some SARS.
On this next dive, I decided to take Matt's advice, creeping through the shallows and picking off the sargos as they were hunting on the rocks for mussels and barnacles.
So we had a phenomenal dive at waypoint 2, coming in from a tower and then swimming along the rocks for what was probably a few hours, and finally learned how to catch for SARS, or sargo as they're sometimes known, white sea bream, and they were feeding on the mussels high in the rocks. So it's just a case of, as Matt told me, keep the sun on your back and swim really quietly and stealthily and that way I was able to creep up on them and catch them while they were distracted.
And what better way to finish a day's spearfishing? Bream 2 ways. Some in the oven on grilled vegetables, and the others straight on the cob.
Ahoy there.
Potatoes, huh? Only 4 kilos. Morning, Nick.
Morning.
Here we go, day 2.
On day 2, Matt picked us up off the same beach, now at high tide, and the plan was to head a bit further afield to a headland just outside the rear.
The anchor's deployed, and now we're going to jump in the tender, make our way through these little rocky areas, find somewhere to anchor a tender and hunt.
Instead of shooting bream from the surface, I was determined to try and catch these bream using the aguato technique, diving down and creeping through the boulders and rocks until I found a good position to ambush a fish. I knew many of the adult sargos would be hiding around the boulders and caves, so I decided to have a good look into all of the crevices I could find. I was really not expecting this octopus to waft out in front of me, but I was really excited to eat fresh octopus while I was here in Spain. The octopus has quite clearly adapted to rely on its camouflage to hide from predators, but unfortunately for him, on this occasion, it was not going to work.
Oh, Matt says they taste amazing in his pressure cooker, so I thought, well...
For this next dive, I've decided to include the whole piece of footage. This was probably my most spectacular catch for the few days while I was in Spain.
So after watching many videos of spearfishing in Spain around the boulders in the current, finally have my first experience catching the lubina, or the big sea bass, diving down behind a boulder, creeping through a cave so that he couldn't see me, and then he came round a corner and managed to get the perfect shot in. So also with a nice SAR from a cave, which is the first ever bream I've shot in a cave, which was also an amazing experience. There it is, pulpo.
The pulpo, or octopus, was cooked in Matt's pressure cooker for about 20 minutes.
It's really good.
The slightly larger one here, smaller one there, they're sort of random in nature. On the females, they start larger and just gradually work down in descending order. So that's a good example there. You've got a big one, a small one, and they're dotted around.
So the males are just random,
Yes.
with no order.
Correct.
Because it's fascinating, these bits, aren't they? The suckers are fascinating.
Yeah.
And actually, when I caught him, he climbed up my arm, up my back, and onto my head.
I'm so pleased you got one, because I was worried that you were going to go home, you were going to shoot a bass today, But so we've got the pulpo.
Thank you very much. Pulpo for you.
Yeah, don't be shy.
You like pulpo?
I love pulpo.
Fantastic. Frankie? Pulpo? Sorry, anonymous lady. Pulpo. Alright, ready to deploy?
You go. You alright?
I'll deploy.
Good fish.
I'm gonna guess 2.9 kilograms.
Bit more.
3.2?
3,16.
3,16.
Yeah.
I wasn't far off, was I?
Good.
1.2, 1.3,
1,16.
1.16.
Yeah. Good. Nice fish.
It's been a pleasure diving with you, Sails.
Oh, it's
Speed
been
Forage.
good fun, isn't it?
Absolute pleasure. I've learned more in 3 days diving than I've learned in years diving this area, and
It's been a good area, hasn't it?
we're gonna put this fish on ice, take it home tomorrow on tomorrow's flight, and enjoy it with the family. So last night, when we took the boat back to Marina, we met a local Spearo here. He's called Tono Barrero, and he very kindly has offered to take me out today. We do fly home this evening, but we have some time to do some pesca submarina. Planning on meeting Tono at this beach, jumping in with him, and I'm hoping he might be able to teach me some of the ways of the Spanish professional spearfishermen. So incredibly excited to go in. We've got about 3 hours of diving. Hopefully going to potter out towards the tower. We're in the same area we were in yesterday, which seemed very fishy.
Okay.
Tono.
Tonio.
Oh, Tonio.
Joe.
Joe, nice to meet you.
Good people. Let's off this. This is better. Okay, here is good. You go.
Muchas gracias, Tono.
Tonio was so kind in dropping me on this spot that was clearly very fishy. I really wanted to try and find another sargo in a cave though, so I was straight down and looking in the first cave I could find.
Beautiful sargo.
One sargo.
Good. Yeah. 1 kilo.
1 kilo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 2 in this situation.
Yeah.
And now the water is low, is the cabin. Okay?
Yeah.
When the water is up, the cabin is low. And then
Yeah.
the cabin, yes, you know, you see and very easy. No strong, everything very easy. But when the water is up, it's strong, up here, go, silence.
As the tide was coming in, I decided to try and employ this technique of ambushing the fish while they were feeding on the barnacles and mussels on the rocks. However, like many things, this is easier said than done. Tonio, on the other hand, lost no time in finding this huge octopus.
That is a polpo. Polpo.
Polpo, octopus.
Grandes polpo.
Grande polpo.
Look at the size of it. It's massive.
Whilst Tonio was dealing with his incredible octopus, I spotted a very large garfish cruising in the shallows. I've only shot a few of these before, and I actually think they're pretty good eating.
Any good?
Oh, una aguja.
I was like...
And you can see here that Tonio also had a good catch of wrasse or pinto, but in Spain it is a very well regarded catch.
It's quite lively. Very gold. Different colour.
Different color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gold.
Because when it's live in the middle of the laminaria, and it's live in the rock.
Ah.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
It's mimetic with the laminaria.
Yeah. I see.
Galicia, Canada.
Yeah.
California.
The champion.
The champion.
The champion.
We are the champion, my friend. Okay.
Very good. Pesca
Good day.
submarina. Very
Hey, yo, my Jimi Hendrix. Hey, yo.
2 fish for me.
Okay, for
10
you.
for Tono. Very happy with these. Thank you, Tono.
Okay,
Amazing days. Pesca submarina.
thank you.
See you again soon.
Thank you.
Had an absolutely amazing time here in Spain. Learned so much. Caught some really, really good fish. Extremely fortunate to have had this experience, and that's it for this video, because we're now driving back to Santiago, catching the plane, taking a couple of fish home as well to the family. So see you on the next video.
Captain/chef. What fish do we have?
Lubina, all the way from